A very good evening to you. It is 19 hours 2 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. My name is Joshua Van Slyke, and this is your evening newscast for today, Tuesday, April 26, 2022. Since the People's Progressive Party civic government has not requested any disbursements from the $20 million loan Ghana took 3 years ago to help strengthen the nation's capacity to manage the oil and gas effectively, the World Bank said it has been forced to downgrade the country's performance score on the loan. The latest implementation status and results report recalled that the money was approved on March 29, 2019 for the Guyana Petroleum Resources Governance and Management Project. The program's objective is to ensure the enhancement of legal and institutional frameworks and the strengthening of the capacity of key institutions to manage the oil and gas sector. A financing agreement in the amount of $20 million was signed and declared effective on April 11, 2019 under the David Granger administration. The financial institution said the project's overall implementation has been downgraded to moderately unsatisfactory, with around 24% of the total credit disbursed and no disbursement requests received by the bank since October 2020. And sticking with finance, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has advised Ghana to secure a higher share of profit oil through its Model Production Sharing Agreement, rather than actively participating in the task of petroleum development through a national oil company. In one of the institution's 2019 documents providing technical support to the government, the fund concluded that there is no strong business case to show that Ghana would receive more value from its oil endowment if it were to participate as a partner via a national oil company in the development of the oil blocks. The financial institution explained that while there are many oil-producing countries that have state participation in petroleum operations, that route may not be one that Ghana should take. State participation in petroleum operations could be an instrument for governments to add to their share of profit within the upside of the project. But this participation will also mean that Ghana would be taking on additional risk by wanting to develop oil blocks. Gas releases from the planned gas-to-energy project at Wales on the west bank of Demerara can result in explosion, which could pose a grave risk to human and environmental health. This is according to the Environmental Impact Assessment for the project, which was conducted by the Environmental Resource Management (ERM). In the EIA, prepared for ESSO, which will be developing the project, it will explain that a loss of integrity of the offshore pipeline resulting in a natural gas release can be caused due to corrosion, objections striking the pipeline, and a buildup of stress in the pipe wall causing buckling. The EIA goes on to state that if an unplanned release of gas from damaged subsea pipelines occurs, the released gas will generate a gas plume that rises from the seafloor to the sea surface. However, a release close to the FPSO vessel could result in a fire on board the FPSO. EEPGL said that to reduce the likelihood of a gas release, the offshore pipeline design and installation will vary depending on the pipeline depth. For the last decade, energy strategist and local content expert Anthony Paul has observed that Trinidad and Tobago's oil and gas sector has been nothing but a slow train wreck. In a virtual discussion this year with his fellow Trinidadians on the depressing state of the economy, Paul said it is no uncertain terms that the country's gas sector has been doing just dramatically badly for a long time. Paul said he will attribute the industry's decline in health to a lack of adherence to the principles of transparency and accountability, two key elements of any robust governance framework. The Trinidadian also bemoaned the fact that Trinidadian's energy ministry is governing the sector with outdated laws and regulation. Paul was keen to note that the absence of updated laws is not only area of concern. We tell you now that Danny Ramdular, a former government engineer who was attached to the Ministry of Home Affairs, is expected to face a criminal investigation after he was accused of lying to the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee during a sitting on Monday. According to the Auditor General's report, a sample of 9 projects with contract sums totaling 38.581 million for maintenance work were selected for the physical verification. It was noted that the contract for the renovation of the new self-acting sluice at the western section of Lusignan was awarded to the sum of $4.636 million by the Ministerial Tender Board to the lowest evaluated of 16 bidders. The engineer's estimate was $5.780 million. The contract was signed on December 5, 2018. As of December 2018, the amounts totaling $4.544 million were paid to the contractor. It was discovered that the engineer certified that the works were completed since December 16, 2018. However, the auditor's physical verification on May 3, 2019 revealed that the contractor was still on site effecting works to the structure. Both sides of the PAC agreed that the engineer should be criminally investigated for the alleged perjury committed before the parliamentary committee. And you're listening to your evening newscast here on Kaieteur Radio. Finally, at this time, post-mortem examinations conducted on the bodies of the 2 friends who were found dead in a car at the Marriott Hotel parking lot on Saturday have failed to uncover what really caused the men's death. The examinations were conducted on the remains of 34-year-old Justin Teixeira and 25-year-old Pashnarine Hansraj, also known as Richie, a local singer of Hague, Backdam, West Coast, Demerara. According to police, stomach contents were removed from the both bodies and handed over to the investigators, which will be sent overseas for testing. The bodies, however, has been handed over to their respective relatives for burial. The men's lifeless bodies were discovered around 16 hours after midnight on Saturday morning in the car in the parking lot of the Marriott Hotel. And with that, we've come to the end of your evening newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. My name is Joshua Van Slackman, reminding you that you can find the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you. For these stories and much more, head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. Have a great remainder of your Tuesday evening. Coming up at 20 hours this evening, it is going to be time for your Tuesday edition of the Sean Devers Sports Watch. Thank you, and so long.